I think you have to appreciate it. So if you've got it,
okay, well, let's
keep
hopefully
going.
change my mindset over the next few minutes or so. We're going to talk about a book called Bolder, Life Lessons from Older People, people that are older and wiser than you. And it was written, and the co-author of this is Dominique Afacan.
Yeah, that's correct.
Good woman, Dominique. And Dominique is, how old are you, 78, 79? Dominique, we should point out, is only in her 30s, okay? But she's with a lady, Sue Kreitzman, who is an artist. And Sue, you are how old?
I'm 79.
Right, 79. And what a credit Sue looks, yeah?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm pushing 80.
Yeah, you've got pink hair. We should describe your pink hair.
Not all of it is pink. Just
Red
the front
glasses, an amazing colourful dress on with incredible
sense of
jewellery,
style.
A real sense of...
So do you think you are young at heart? And, you know, what obviously I don't want to sound here as if we're in some way patronising and say, oh, bless the old dear, bless her.
No, I'm not an old dear, honey. Definitely not an old dear. And I always say I'm not really an old lady. I'm just cleverly disguised as one.
Yeah.
But I have to be truthful. The disguise comes with a lot of baggage. So my brain is still working.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
But the body does start falling apart. But what is the alternative? The alternative is being dead.
Yeah.
I don't want to be dead. I will stay alive as long as I can. It's an adventure and it's a privilege.
One of the things my mum says to me is when we suggest she goes to, you know, community centres or bus trips or whatever, she will say the following: I'm not going in that. It's full of old people, right? So people who are all 20 years younger than her, it has to be said. But I think where she has a point is I don't think old people should be with other old people. I think in care homes and things, it almost should be mixed. It should be a whole experience. What do you think?
I think you're right. And I think being with only old people makes you older. And my life is a mixture of quite young people. I mentor young artists and middle-aged people. You know, right now, somebody who's 60 seems very young to me.
Yeah.
So your definition of older changes. Now 80 doesn't seem so old, but you do need to be with a mix of people. And this city is famous for diversity, and diversity should include age.
Well, funny you say how it changes your perspective looking at someone who's 60 as someone who is practically 60 looking at you. It changes my perspective as well. Because sometimes I think when I get up with aches and pains and things in the morning, I think, oh, you know, what's ahead? But then I look and you definitely exude an energy.
Well, you know, this is how the day begins. I wake up and first I think, do I know who I am? Yes. Do I know where I am? Yes. Can I get out of bed? Okay. Can I stagger and shuffle to the shower? Yes. And then I know it's going to be a good day. And once the day starts, the adrenaline kicks in, and part of the secret of being an old person is to have things that you love to do, that you're passionate about. And it, you know, I live a fairly glamorous life. I don't know how that happened, but I do. But it doesn't have to be glamorous. It just do things, make a difference to other people, mentor younger people, have something you're interested in. If you've never tried drawing before, try it now. Learn a musical instrument. Make something happen.
I love the idea, Dominique, of mentoring and using the experience, the life experience, the professional experience that you may have and passing it on. You put this book together. It's beautifully illustrated and there's lots of words of wisdom in there. How would you describe the book?
Well, it was started by me and a friend when we realised that despite being in our mid-30s, we were both terrified about getting old. And I think
What do you consider as old?
Well, when we started the project, we decided that the official age you become old was 70. I don't know why. That's just what we decided at the time. Since starting Boulder,
Would you care to agree or disagree with that, Sue?
No, I disagree. I think it's when you really start falling apart. You can't think anymore. Perhaps you can't move at all. You're old at whatever age. But really, 70 is still young. As I say, we have baggage. I can't pretend I'm in perfect shape. I'm not in perfect shape. But that doesn't matter. As long as you can think, as long as your synapses are happening, you're not old.
Yeah, and I think the reason that we thought 70 was old was because we hadn't started Boulder. So as soon as we started interviewing people and meeting people, we realised that 70 is so young. And actually, it's not sensible to sort of stereotype by age full stop. So you can have a 92-year-old who's full of life and energy.
And you could have a 50-year-old who's not.
Yes, exactly.
When you were doing this book, you spoke to loads of different people, and they've got different interests. And did you sort of come to the conclusion that older people now are younger than they used to be? And what I mean is, back in the day, my gran, and I look at photos, she could have been maybe in her 50s, but she looked old because she decided she'd have the perm at the hairdressers and she'd start dressing old and all the rest of it. Now, she wouldn't look like that. She'd look a lot younger.
Yeah.
Are old people younger than they used to be?
Yeah, I mean, as far as my personal experience goes, I mean, I remember my grandmother looking like a grandmother, sort of stereotypical, all in beige, grey rinse. And, the people that we've met in the book are nothing like that. And I think even my own parents aren't like that. And they're both in their 70s now. Yeah. So things have changed a little bit.
Medical science has changed.
Of course, yeah.
So things that killed us in the old days don't kill us anymore.
We're not designed to live at 90, 95.
But don't you think you can make your body last a bit longer by doing certain things?
Yes, Jackie, yes. I'm sure you're right. I mean, I was at the gym today, and the trainer said to me, he did these things, these squats, which I can't stand, right? Squats,
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Nobody likes squats.
No one
at
likes
any age.
You know that whole that business there. And they're sore my knees and things. And I said, I don't like doing that. And he said, you're going to do that. He said, because the biggest industry in this country are people who make chairs that tip you out, that raise up and tip you out, because older people don't have the strength in their glutes and in their hamstrings and their calves and whatever to lift themselves up.
Muscle wastage.
That's one way of doing that. But Sue, I wanted to ask this to you. You're an artist. You were a cook even in a former life, whatever. My mum, when I look at my mum and I think, my mum will forever talk about the past, which I think is a bad idea. She will forever talk about how everyone she knows and grew up with is dead. She will not make new friends whatsoever. And one of the things I took away from that was your oldest friends aren't your best friends. They're just the ones who got there first. And if they happen to die along the way, you should always be making new friends.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
And one of the worst things about being old is that people keep dying.
Yeah.
That, if I had to say the one thing that's horrendous, my friends die every day, and they shouldn't. I don't want them to be gone. But yes, you're right. We should have friends of all ages. You don't throw out your old friends because they're old, but you make new friends. And I find in my life, when I live in the East End of London, it's so welcoming. All ages, all genders, all backgrounds, all colors. We form this wonderful homogenous group, and it keeps us young. It teaches younger people how to grow up. We all have something to teach each other, the young to the old to the young. That's the way life should be. And mentoring is a good way to do that. Old people should be mentoring young people.
What's the key to staying young when you're old? My yoga teacher says it's balance. If you can keep your balance, that's really important.
So do you mean that literally or figuratively?
I mean literally, be able to stand up.
Physically.
I'm just looking at one of the stories. It's about Tula.
Tula Olin, the ice skater.
Who's the Finnish champion ice skater who's still skating at the age of, is she 78?
Yeah.
And she obviously has great balance because she's an ice skater. But she said, even when I'm cleaning my teeth, I try and stand on one leg at a time as I look in the mirror.
Yes, interesting.
A few of the people we interviewed have mentioned balance as being a really key aspect of staying physically fit in later life.
Yeah, and I'm just looking, every chapter you feature someone, and then there is advice, and as Jackie said, whether it's standing on one foot there, and I was just trying to.
Do people generally try new things when they're older, or do they avoid it? Because I know, I would like to think a lot of my friends, by the time you get to a certain age, you've perhaps had your career, you get to the point where you don't give a monkeys, so you might as well. I'm going to try rock climbing. I've never done it. I'm going to try this. I've never done it. Well, rock climbing is probably a bad example.
Yeah.
But do you have this sort of confidence? It's sort of like, what the hell? Let's just give it a go. What's the worst that can happen?
Well, some people want to go skydiving. I don't see the advantage of that. I don't want to do
We
that.
have some skydivers in the book.
Yeah, I know you do. Everybody is different. I had an epiphany 20 odd years ago and suddenly started drawing and painting and making sculptures. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. I had not planned it. So in a way, I was trying something new, and that has gotten me through the last couple of decades. It's absolutely fabulous. And I mentor other young artists. So everybody is different. Yes. Try something new, go in a different direction. A window will open, just a little crack, follow that opening.
Do you think we revere old people enough in a Western culture?
No, I don't think we do.
No, I don't
Certainly
think we do.
not.
We don't value their knowledge, do we?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think being old is something that threatens, particularly in the business that we do, anything to do with marketing or media or broadcasting or whatever, age advance. I mean, all the broadcasters are obsessed with a younger audience, which aren't watching them anymore.
Yeah.
So they want younger presenters, assuming that young people want to watch young people. Not necessarily.
I think we realised once we started doing the book as well that the people who were most scared about getting older were our own age. So we sort of started and thought our main audience would be in their 70s, and then really swiftly realised that people in their 30s and 40s are being fed all these negative messages about ageing.
Yeah.
And so it's been much more relevant for our own age group.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this advice as regards happiness. People who think they can fulfill their lives by having more stuff are missing the point. The best things you can collect are experiences and good memories. And here's another one. One of my greatest regrets is not asking my parents more about their lives. And that's sort of what today is about, isn't it?
I think we all missed out on that because you're busy being a teenager, then you're busy being a young whatever you are, and you don't think about your parents until it's too late. That is very, very true.
Or that they may have anything to offer you.
And they, of course, they have
wisdom
things.
or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes sense to go talk to somebody else's parents because while you were young, your parents drove you absolutely crazy. So go talk to somebody else's parents and have somebody talk to your parents.
But that's quite often why children have a very nice relationship with their grandparents or their grandmother. They might have a really fractious relationship with their own mother, but their grandma, she's just the bee's knees.
Yeah, that is absolutely right, which something my mother actually said in this interview as well. She said she prefers her grandchildren to her own children because they ask her more. And her own children
I'm going to say that right to your face.
Right. No, she will. Well summed up by this quote. Dying is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I don't worry about it, says a man called Doc Price. And that really is it, because in here there's so many people saying it's not a dress rehearsal. They wish they'd have been more confident in their lives as well. And there's lessons for all of us. It's called Boulder, and Boulder is Bolder. That's what we mean by that. It's written by Dominique Afacan. She's the co-author of this. And you're also listening to Sue Kreitzman, who's 79 years of age and an artist, quite superb, and doesn't consider herself very old at all.
No.
Thank you both. Thank you both very, very much indeed.
Such a pleasure. Thank you.
Not at all. On this International Older People's Day, we'll take a break, and we've got another old person coming on.